Hello, this is Ms. DB. In this video, I want to go through how to do the Gizmo's Student Exploration Perimeter and Area of Rectangles activity. So I have the worksheet open here on the left, and on the right, I've already logged into the website. At the bottom of the Week 3 folder, you will find directions and your login information on how to get to the Explore Learning Gizmos page. Once you get in here, the one we're going to work on today is called Perimeter and Area of Rectangles. So you can either click on the title or you can click on this launch thing, which is kind of fun. But it does say in the worksheet that before we do the gizmo, we're going to answer two questions. Pam is tiling her kitchen floor, putting new floor tiles on. A diagram of the completed floor is shown to the right. How many tiles did she use? So that each one of these squares is a tile. So answer that question and put your answer here. Next, it says she is also putting some trim around the outside of the floor. If each tile is 1 foot by 1 foot, how many feet of trim will she need? Let's look at that question a little bit closer. I'm going to get my pen tool here. Let's say that we start in the corner here with our trim. If I go that far, that's 1 foot of trim. If I go again, that's 2 foot. So if I go all the way, count how many feet you would go, and then she'll have to turn the corner and add that many feet, and then add that many feet, and then add that many feet. So whatever you get when you add up how many feet all the way around, that will be your answer for number 2. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and launch the activity, the gizmo. Gizmo is kind of fun to say. So this gizmo has a rectangle, and each of the vertices, the corners, are labeled. So we see this is A, B, C, and D. And that looks a lot like your picture over here. This one you can't click and drag, but on this one, if we click A, and I'm using my mouse to slide in and out, and it changes it. And I can change, if I click B, I can change how tall it gets. And look what's happening on these sliders when I do that. If I click A again, watch how these two things change as I move A. Look at that. And now watch B. Watch the height as I change B. Skinny, tall. All right, so now that you've practiced that a little bit, it says there are 3 different ways to change the lengths of the slider. So I just did one. I dragged the vertices. You can also drag the sliders. These things you can click, hold down on your mouse button, and I just made it different sizes by doing that. And I can also make it really tiny or really long and skinny. And there's one more way. It says that you can click a number in the text field next to a slider. So these numbers here can be changed. It's 1.7 for the base. What if I change it to 6? And then hit enter on your keyboard? Oh, it got bigger. How about if I change it to 12? Got bigger. And the same thing for this. You can change it to different numbers and it'll change. Okay, number 1, be sure the rectangle tab is selected. Well, we have a rectangle. See, there's a rectangle or there's a square. We're going to do the rectangle page today. Set base B to 10. So we can change this. We can drag it until it says 10. Or we could type 10 here and then click enter. And we want the height to be 4. For that one, I'll do it this way. There. First question, the questions are in purple. How do we know this is a rectangle? So some of your answers might say something like the corners are all right angles, or maybe you want to say because opposite sides are the same length, or maybe you have a different reason you know it's a rectangle. Then it says select the square tab. Okay. Drag the vertices to create a variety of squares. There we go. Why is there only one side length given for the square? Look at this. There's only one. In the rectangle, we could change the base and we could change the height. but the square only has S for side. So that's different. So think about why there might only be one side length given for each square, and then type your answer or write your answer there. Okay, now we're going to get ready for our activity. We're going to go back to the rectangle page. It says set the base B to 7. I'll type that in. And the height to 2. Okay, maybe I should have just typed it. If you could walk along the sides of this rectangle, how many units would you walk? So picture yourself starting, let's start at A. If we walk all the way up to B, that's a distance of 2 units. So we went up 2, and then we would walk over here to C. That's a distance of 7 units. So we went 2, and then we went 7 more, so that's 9. And then we'd have to turn the corner and come back down, and then we'd have to walk over here. So you would put in the 2 plus 7 plus 2 and so on to get your total units. The distance you found is the perimeter. Click on Show Perimeter Info. Here it says that the base is 7 and the height is 2, and they give us the perimeter is 18. So let's go back to this question. Let me put these in here. So we went, I'll just write them in. We went 2 up, and then we went 7, and then we went 2 down, and then we turned, and we had to go 7 more. And if you add all of those up, 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 2 more is 11, plus 7 more is 18. That matches the perimeter given on the gizmo. We're going to try to figure out a formula to find perimeter. So how many times in this formula here, how many times did we have to add the base? The base was 7. We added a 7 here and a 7 here. So we added 2 of the base. How many of the height did we add? The height was 2. We added 2 here and we added a 2 here. So we added 2 of the heights. So we just made a formula for perimeter. Perimeter equals 2 times the base plus 2 times the height. All right, let's keep going on our worksheet. Now we're going to turn off the show perimeter information. Set the base for 4 and the height to 6. So you do that on yours. And this time it says to select show grid. Here's the show grid button. So it puts a grid everywhere. You're going to count how many grid squares are inside the rectangle. This is the area of the rectangle in square units. And then you can click on Show Area Info to check your answer for what you got for that. And then the next couple questions will help you figure out how to write a formula to find the area of a rectangle using base and height. All right, after you're done with A, B, and C for number 2, for number 3, you're going to make 2 of your own rectangles in the gizmo. So you get to change these base and height to whatever you think they should be, however big you want them to be. You can use decimals if you want. You can click by doing this. And then you're going to write down, when you pick a triangle or rectangle that you like, you write down its base, you write its height, then you find its perimeter, and you find its area. You can check by showing the area and perimeter info. Then it says to turn off the area info, and then they want you to make this size rectangle. Base 5.6, height 11.6. Use your formula to find the area, and then turn on show grid and see how hard it is. Look at even if I turn show grid on right now, when I have one of them as a decimal, look at these little over here. They're only pieces, so it's hard to find the area using a grid if you have a decimal for one of your measurements. Okay, then all we have left to do is for number 5, we are going to find the perimeter and area of this rectangle. You can make it in Gizmo, or you can use your formulas first. In this one, the area is 15, and you're going to figure out the height. So that's a little bit challenging. See if you can figure out this one. And in C, the perimeter is 38 and the height is 7.6. Let me just give you a hint on that one. If you show the perimeter info, wow, it's pretty close to this. And then if I set my height as what it's supposed to be, now my perimeter changed. I need to make my base bigger until it equals, the perimeter equals 38. So you can see I'm getting close. Oh, I went too far. So you can try to figure out exactly what the base would need to be so that you could get that perimeter of 38. And then there's one question at the end, kind of a challenge question about painting walls in your bedroom. The height is going to be 8 feet tall, and then they give different widths. Width is the same thing as base. So we could think of this as base, and you have to find the area of the wall, and then there's another wall. So there's 2 walls that she is painting, and then see if you can figure out what the area of the ceiling must be, and how do you know what the area of the ceiling is. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have some fun with this, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.